Okay, so we got our basic CRUD functionality going with our blog posts. However, I want to start to implement a user sign up and login functionality. And the reason I want to do this is because I want to introduce one more container. I want to introduce a Redis container. So we're going to use Redis for authentication, but to do that, we have to implement the whole user sign up and login flow so that we can actually get that wired up to our Docker application. So let's quickly get started on that. I'm going to try to blitz through it as quickly as possible once again so that I can show you how we can wire up a Redis container. And so, just like we did with our posts, we're going to create a user model. We'll import Mongoose. And then let's define our schema. So we'll do const user schema. And there's going to be just two properties, the username and password. So we'll set username is going to be a type of string. And this is going to be required. So we'll set required to be true. And then if they don't provide it, we'll give it an error of user must have a username. Then we have to pass in another property, which is unique. So we can't have two users with the same exact username. So this is going to do a little bit of validation, ensure that if we're creating a new user, that username is not already taken. And I'm going to copy this. And for the second property, it's going to be the password. So I'm just going to change this to be password. Type string, we don't need it to be unique. Required, and we'll just say user must have a password. So here we'll say const user equals mongoose.model user, and then user schema. And then we'll just say module.exports equals user. We've got a model. Let's actually set up the controllers now. So we'll call this auth controller. And let's import our user model. And let's set up our controller for signing up. And then within our try catch block, let's do user.create. And we can just call in rec.body, which should have the username and body. And then we'll await this. And we'll set that to new user. And then here we'll just do res status 201.json. And we'll say status as success. And we'll return the new user. And if this fails, we'll just do a res.status 400. And we'll say status fail. So let's try this out. Well, actually, first of all, we have to wire this route up. So let's go to our routes. Let's create a new route. We'll call this user routes. And we'll say const express equals require express so that we can get that router object. We'll do router equals express.router. And we'll say router.post. And this will be for signup. We get our auth controller. So we have to import our auth controller. And we'll call up the signup method. And then we'll export that. And then we need to wire it up into our index.js. So here we'll do const user router. And just like we did before, we're going to do app.use. Here, let's specify the URL this should get routed to. So we'll go to /API/v1/ we'll just say users. And then we'll pass in that user router. And let's save all files. And let me just make sure that there aren't any errors. So it looks like everything's good. And let's try this out now. I'm going to create a new request. It's going to be a post. This is one that's going to go to users /signup. And then we need to pass in our body. It's going to be JSON. Say user name is set to Sanjeev. Password is set to password. Let's try this out. And it looks like it worked. It's perfect. A couple of issues though, obviously. First of all, I don't want to return back the entire user. But really the bigger issue is that, first of all, we're just storing this in plain text, our password into plain text. So let's fix that. And so to do that, we need to install a new library, and that's going to be the bcrypt library so that we can hash our password. So I'm going to stop this for now. And I'm going to do an npm install bcrypt.js. And we got to do a Docker compose down and then back up. And we got to do a rebuild as well of the image. We'll do up-d-build. All right, so everything's back up and running. So let's hash our password. So if we go back up to the auth controller under signup, what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to grab the username and property from the body with a little bit of destructuring. And let's import bcrypt. And then here we'll do const hash password equals, and then we'll just do an await and then do bcrypt.hash. And then here we're going to hash the password. And then we have to pass in a value. So this is going to be the strength of the hash. We're just going to pass in a value of 12. I think that's a standard number that people use. And then when we do new user, we have to change this now. So we'll pass an object, and the username will be set to username. And then the password is going to be set to hash password. Let's try that out now. So now if we sign up, I'm just going to put a 1 here. We can see now that it has a hash password. So perfect. Now let's implement the login functionality. So we're going to define a controller for login. And once again, we're going to destructure out the username and password. And I realized, first of all, back in our sign up, let's make sure we get this in our try catch block because this could fail as well. And here we're going to find our try catch block as well. Actually, I'm going to copy and paste it. Let's save us some time. So first things first is let's delete this. And what we want to do is we want to find, we want to check our database to see if we have a user with that username. So let's do const user equals await user.find1 with a property of username. And then we'll do an if statement to see if user was found. Actually, we'll say if user was not found, then we'll just send a res.status 400. Well, technically it would be a 404. It doesn't really matter. JSON, and then we'll just say status, fail. And we'll just say message, user not found. However, if we did find a user, actually we want to do a return. But if we did find a user, then we want to say, we want to first of all check to see if the password's correct. So when you hash a password, what we have to do is we have the hash password stored in the database, and then we have the password that the user is trying to log in with. So what we have to do is we have to hash the password the user tried to log in with and compare that hash with the hash that's stored in our database. And if they equal the same, then that means the user should be able to log in. So we'll say bcrypt.compare. Then we pass in the password that the user tried to log in with. And then we pass in from our user object, which it represents the entry in our database. We'll say user, and then grab the hash password within the database. And we'll take this, we'll do an await, and then we want to store the result with into a variable called maybe is correct. So that means his password is good. And then we'll say if is correct, we'll do a res.status 200.json, and we'll say status success. However, if it's not correct, then we'll just send a response status 400 again .json, and we'll say status fail with the message incorrect username or password. And we'll remove this. We don't need this anymore. All right, and let's save that. And now let's go back to here. So we did a sign up. Let's do a login. And actually we have to define our routes. So you can see here, we just have a route for sign up. Let's copy this and let's create one for login as well. It's going to be pretty much the same thing. Login. It's also going to be a post method. And then in this case, this is going to be a login. So we created a user with this username and this password. So we should be able to just change the URL to login, and this should work. So let's try this out. And we get a status of success. If I put in a different password, incorrect username or password, change it to the correct password, and then change the username to something that doesn't exist, and we can see user not found. Perfect. All right, so we've got the user sign up and login working, relatively speaking. But the next thing that we want to do is we want to actually handle the authentication side of things. So when the user logs in, how do we actually store that state within our application? And we're going to use sessions to do that. So we'll tackle that in the next video.